Welcome back to your own YouTube channel, Speak Up with Sahil. Thank you very much for stopping by. And the US presidential election season is in full swing, and early voting has begun with a surge. While Democrats hope to hold their edge, early returns have sent a wave of anxiety through the party as Donald Trump's campaign gains momentum. Today, we are breaking down why Democrats are concerned, how Trump has gained ground, and what this means as we approach election day. So a recent rally with Trump waving at supporters, cheering, narrate, like for the first time since August, Donald Trump has taken the lead over Kamala Harris in Economist's latest model. As of now, Trump holds a 53% chance of returning to the White House with a 7-point jump in his favor. Just this past week, this news is rattling the Democratic campaign, which had been riding on a slim but consistent lead for months. It's no longer just a race, it's become a statical toss-up. Each and everybody are doing their level best to defeat each other. By the way, if you would look at Joe Biden, he hasn't left anything behind his back criticizing Donald Trump. And I think like Donald Trump, like you can see Donald Trump's poll has increased by 7%. I think last month I saw the poll, it was saying that Donald Trump has 47% chance to return to the White House. And now when I see 53%, I was quite shocked. 53% chance of returning to the White House. Are you kidding me? But the main reasons which came forward just few days ago when Donald Trump, like got up, like Donald Trump dressed up like McDonald worker, and then he was seen serving customers McDonald French fries, and he was selling McDonald burgers, McDonald French fries to common people. Then he suddenly came on stage by wearing such clothes, we can say, like a shiny orange clothes, which was referring that how much he is, like into livery stuff, how much he is intended to help people who are struggling in America. And then what I saw, that was like suddenly a comedian came on stage and then he said, Puerto Rico is floating garbage. It was clearly ridiculous, and for that, Republican Party had been criticized a lot. But the main cause is not like Donald Trump was not the one who said that. There was a comedian who said it, and I criticized that person who committed such kind of, like heinous joke, the person who cracked that kind of, like hilarious joke, but not hilarious. I would say that was shameful joke. Somebody else is spoken something, like on stage, and everybody addressed Donald Trump as a villain. Donald Trump was not the one who said that. Even the campaign of Donald Trump clearly, like declared that what that American comedian said about Puerto Rico, that was not president, like mindset. But suddenly, Joe Biden came and said all the people who are Trump supporters, they are garbage. So comparing them with garbage, Nazis, some of them, like even are comparing people like who support Donald Trump as a Nazis, as a like follower of Hitler. Such kind of things come from like you can say Democratic Party to assassination attempt on Donald Trump. This is something not like should be seen very seriously. Yes, absolutely, this thing should be seen seriously because Trump's progress isn't random. It's been carefully mapped out with recent state level polling showing significant shifts in key battlegrounds. According to state reports, Trump's team has made a strategic gain in places like Michigan and North Carolina, where his base is energized and voting numbers are already climbing. High voter turnout, especially in traditionally Republican counties, has given Trump's campaign an aided boost. His supports are coming out in droves, adding to a wave of early voting numbers that have Republicans feeling optimistic. Campaigning tactics like rallies, social media promotions, and Elon Musk's legal donation scheme, both parties are going all out to motivate their voters, but their approaches could not be more difficult. Donald Trump's campaign has capitalized on unconventional support. Notably, Elon Musk has offered 1 million in incentives to sway voters in swing states, which has stirred up both excitement and controversy. While Musk's strategy may seem murky, it's clear it's aimed at encouraging turnout among Trump's loyal supporters. Absolutely. On the other side, Kamala Harris' campaign is focusing on grassroots mobilization. Democrats are organizing community events, like distributing flyers and reaching out through university network to capture the young, educated demographic that intends to learn democratic. However, turnout among this group is historically unpredictable, leaving the party anxious as they fight for every last vote. Early voting has become a staple in American election, with millions of voters opting to cast their ballots. And ahead of election day, in fact, early voting is on track to surpass 2020 level when a record-breaking 64% Americans voted before election day. With COVID restriction no longer affecting the voting process, people are showing up in high numbers, and that has both campaigns on edge. Republicans are encouraged by an increase in return mail-in ballots, up from 27 to 32% this election cycle. However, Democrats still hold nearly 48% of the early vote, so that's a slight dip from previous numbers. This has Democrats wondering if early voting will hold steady for them or it's just bringing in the usual voters earlier. Historically, Republicans benefited from lower turnout due to weather or last minute voting, while Democrats thrived with high turnout numbers. But Trump's takeover of the Republican Party has changed this dynamic. His coalition now draws largely from working class voters, particularly in states with strong manufacturing and agricultural bases. Meanwhile, the Democratic coalition is seeing a shift towards college educated voters. This means that traditional assumptions about turnout like bad weather favoring Republicans may not apply this time around. With this changing demographics, each campaign is scrambling to adjust their strategies, targeting new segments of voters with tailored messages and outreach. Both teams know that voter mobilization can make or break this election, and they are investing heavily in it. The Harris campaign has set up 52 offices in Michigan alone and recruited 100,000 volunteers across the state. Michigan, which has been a critical battleground, is seeing an unprecedented push from both sides, especially among voters who traditionally support Democrats. Absolutely right. And one thing also, that liberal nights distribution on Trump's side, the campaign is doubling down on rural and suburban areas. Over 100,000 copies of Trump supporting comic book Liberty Nights are being handed out across states like Pennsylvania and Michigan to energize young Republican voters and build enthusiasm. It's an all hands on deck approach, with the Trump campaign focused on mobilizing both new and loyal voters to the poll. Politic, that's very good. Now let's look at a few key states that could decide the outcome. Nevada, for instance, has been marked as a toss-up, with early voting trends showing more Republicans casting ballots than Democrats. Similarly, in North Carolina, Republicans have returned more ballots than Democrats in the early voting stage. In Michigan, high turnouts among workouts and working class voters could be Trump's ticket back to the White House, especially in places like Western Michigan, where his support is deeply rooted. Analysts are watching this state closely as early returns hint a tight race that could swing either way. So, as we inch closer to election day, one of the biggest unknown is how turnout will ultimately shape this election, and you can say shape this election. High early turnout generally favors Democrats, but the shifting base of the Republican Party and its growing appeal to working class voters may alter that dynamic. Political analysts are split on whether early voting signals a Democratic advantage or simply shows that Republicans are more energized than usual. Campaign managers and strategists on both sides are studying these numbers in real time, preparing for the final push. For Harris, there is hope that increased turnouts among young and minority voters could tip the scales. For Trump, it's all about mobilizing his base in the critical last days. So there's a conclusion, guys. From my side, as America watches the result of early voting roll in, both parties are gearing up for a nail biting finale. Will Donald Trump's momentum carry him back to the Oval Office? Or will Kamala Harris pull off a history victory? One thing's for sure, Every vote counts, and this election may go down in history as one of the most fiercely contested races we have seen so far. Thanks for joining me. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you end up liking this video. For the latest update, you need to click on the blank icon on the 2024 election and other major politics stories. Leave a comment below. What do you think will what do you think who is going to win this election in 2024? We would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you very much for stopping by.